Welcome to the Best Things Podcast. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Don't forget to follow us on all the socials at Best Things Pod as well. Now, here are your hosts, Craig and Aaron.
Hello, Internet. Welcome into the Best Things Podcast. My name is Craig. Sitting next to me, as always, Arkansas Karen himself, Aaron Brooks. Almost made a Nacho Libre joke there.
No.
But then I remembered the shirt. So, by the way, if we need to preface this by saying, if at any point you see, I think we're clean, but if you see little bits in our teeth or anything on our face, cheese or nacho related, it's because before we recorded this, we recorded our own separate little video for the TikToks and the YouTubes and stuff like that. We'll get to that in just a minute about why we're doing that. But welcome into the show. We need to address something.
Oh.
You may notice if you're watching the video version of this, man, those guys look good today. They look better than normal.
Better than normal.
Why do they look so attractive? It is because we're wearing our own merch.
We repping the pod, baby.
For I think the first time we're repping our own merch. So we've got a few different things. I am repping our newest Hall of Fame entry. We have a t-shirt now, just like doing March Madness, a t-shirt for every Hall of Fame inductee, every winner. So this is the pepperoni pizza. It's a neat design, but it's also, I don't know if you noticed this, Aaron. It's got on here the date and the issue of the episode it was inducted into the Hall of Fame. So it's a souvenir. It's a memorabilia. Aaron is wearing the famous.
When I saw this one, I was like, yeah, that's the one I've got to wear.
The Arkansas Karen shirt. If you need a refresher. Gosh, it's been 3 years.
It's been a while.
We did it. It was like our first TikTok video that blew up, which blowing up at that point was 100,000 views. We were like, oh my gosh. But Aaron went on this big old text. What I should have done instead of putting the little, it's not a Razorback for copyright reasons, but I should have put the horns down. Maybe I'll do a different version of that. But yeah, Aaron went on a rant about Texas, and somebody in the comments, it was our favorite comment.
It was wonderful.
Stop being an Arkansas Karen or something like that. So, and then Aaron you came back. We recorded a follow-up video. You said you wear that with pride.
Yes.
I will gladly.
Finally, the day has come that I can wear it with pride. That's also available in a.
It is available in a hat. Yes. I am wearing just a logo hat. We have this as well. Where's the other?
Yeah, let me show you.
We got a few other samples to show you guys. Sorry if you're listening, you just get the descriptions. We've got lots of cool stuff on the store. Ninja Turtles. We have Turtles have the best pizza. This is available until they come after us and tell us we can't use this anymore. But for now, go ahead and grab it before it's gone.
Yeah, really cool.
Kind of a 90s throwback, 80s, 90s throwback.
Tee.
This is
from one of our newest episodes.
Yeah, Bounce the Pickle, it's the law. So if you're from Connecticut, you got to get this shirt.
Because if you're a listener up there in the Northeast.
They're all in comfort colors. It's a great t-shirt, good quality.
Feels amazing.
Feels really soft.
It does.
They fit really good too. Sometimes you get some of these and they're short, or these are good. These are one of my favorite brand's shirts. So
you will not be disappointed.
We got some others too that we don't have in here with us, but we've got like the upside down.
Best things.
That's a trend right now. The upside down hat. We have that in like a regular dad cap and a trucker. We've got like I said, all the Hall of Fame ones. We have grilling and barbecue are not the same thing.
That's a great shirt.
That's also,
we're gonna have to rep that one soon.
Yeah. So yeah, head over to the store. We've also made it easier. The reason we have all this, we've switched merchandise providers, and now we've been able to do this. So go to bestthingsPod.com. Just go straight there for all the merch. You can order it from the site. Gets to your door from the time you order it in like 5 days. It's awesome. So head over bestthingsPod.com. Go rep the merch. It helps us. Plus, you just get to rep the cool merch in the wild. That's always fun.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for the 5-minute little plug. We're excited. So that's why we had to get that out of the way. Today's episode is birthed from something that you sent me today. I was trying to think when you sent it. You sent it today.
Yeah.
Tell the people how did you come across this again?
So it just in my TikTok feed, I saw people trying these new nachos from Subway. Doritos nachos.
Yeah, they've apparently collabed, and that's why I said earlier, if we have something on our face, we did a whole different video where we reviewed these and taste tested them. So go check that out.
Yeah, you want to check that out. They have a couple of options available, steak and chicken. So we went and got some, tried them, and then we're like, you know what? We need to talk more about nachos.
We do. We've never done a nacho episode, and so I'm sure we've talked about them at different points, but I think we may have covered them in our concession stand foods episode, but not in any kind of detail. So that's what we're doing today. And we tried to figure out what was the best way to go about this. And we landed on, we're going to create 4 separate ideal nachos. And so instead of our normal 8-team or 8-item bracket, we're going to narrow it down to the final 4. And we're going to make 4 nacho creations. But once an item is drafted, the other person can't have it. So we're going to do that at the end of the episode. We're going to talk about stuff first, and we'll do that at the end of the episode. On a scale, Aaron, or if we were to put this nachos on a tier list,
okay,
where do nachos rank as far as like foods in general?
S tier.
Yeah.
Nachos are synonymous with sports.
Yeah.
Sporting events, ballpark nachos, Super Bowl nachos.
Yep.
You get together for something, nachos.
Yeah. Carnivals, fairs, Tuesday nights.
Every high school games.
Oh, yeah.
You go to the concession stand, nachos.
They can be dressed up or dressed down. Chips and cheese, good.
Solid.
7 layers, awesome, you know.
Fancy nachos or just run of the mill. It's hard to get a bad nacho.
It really is. So we're going to talk about nachos at length today. And then, like I said, at the end of the episode, we're going to figure out which type of nacho. We're each going to build 2 separate nachos, and we're going to decide which of these versions are the best ones. Are you ready, sir?
Nacho fast? Yes.
Before we can figure out the best thing, we have to talk about all the things. It's time for the thing about the things.
Okie dokie.
Look, something we did not mention.
Yes.
One reason you need to go watch our nacho video is we wrote a song.
I kind of want to play one of them.
I think we should.
I think we should.
All of these people need to hear this, okay? This is some of the greatest lyrical work. Look, AI might be the worst at jokes.
Yeah, that's true.
But their nacho game song,
Yeah.
is coming in hot.
So since we did a Subway nacho video, you I don't know why this popped into your head to do, but Aaron's like, I'm gonna have it write a song. So he asked ChatGPT, give me lyrics for a song. We threw it in an app called Suno that creates songs, and this is the brainchild that it spit out, and it's just glorious. Okay, listen, you're gonna be tempted to skip ahead. Please do not. Wait till the end of this song, because I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. At the end of the lyrics it wrote, it had Subway nachos, like a lot of O's.
Yes.
And it had the and we were both curious. What is he going to do anything with it?
Yes.
And it did not disappoint. So without further ado, here is the Subway nacho song.
Just sit right down and grab a bite, a snack that's bold and new. It's crunchy, cheesy, full of zing, and spicy flavor too. You don't need sails or ships or maps, no compass, fork, or guide. Just head on down to Subway now, let nacho joy collide.
Here we go.
Subway nacho. Subway nacho.
have it.
Tell me you don't love
The
that.
Subway Nacho song. Goes on for another minute and a half, by the way. I don't know if it...
We have not listened. Is there another verse? Did they write anything, or is
Let's
it
see.
just...
Just sit right down and grab a bite.
I just repeat.
They're just going to repeat it. I should have asked him for a second verse of this song.
Yeah.
If I'd have known we were going to get that.
I know, right?
That,
Oh, my gosh.
man,
it's
it just
so good.
It just builds, and when they hit that Subway Nachos, yes.
so good.
I wish cell phone ringtones were a thing again.
You're right. That would be... You have an urgent... Somebody in your family has had a medical crisis. A Subway Nacho.
I don't know. We may have to have a Subway Nacho shirt at some point.
We're gonna have to at this point. All right, be on the lookout because Subway Nacho shirts are happening soon. So, okay, yeah. So Subway not Subway Nachos, nachos. We've done a whole review on Subway Nachos. You can go watch that. But, I mean, do we want to start in the categories we listed off? I mean, we're not taking any of these yet, but just to kind of talk through some of the different. I mean, because do we want to start with? I want to start with this first. Types of nachos.
Okay.
Because there's a ton of different ways you can do nachos. There's a ton of places you can get nachos. I told you offline, but like we do nachos about once a week, maybe once every other week or so. It's my daughter's favorite food is nachos, taco salad, nachos, stuff like that.
What is the difference in nachos and taco salad?
Okay, here's my difference.
Yep.
It's whether or not it's prepared and put under a broiler.
Okay.
Or if it's just you make it on its own and you get not cold, but like just deconstructed.
Okay.
And that was going to be my question. Like when you're making nachos, how are you doing it? Like, are you pouring because it's not like we just have a thing of nacho cheese here. So we're shredding cheese and putting it on there and letting it melt in the oven. But I know, you can do it just as easily as just putting queso on top of it or something like that.
The last time we made pulled pork nachos a week or so ago, I actually made my own homemade cheese sauce to go on it. And it was super fast. I used a blend of cheddar and pepper jack and just kept it warm on the stovetop. And it was so much better than canned or jarred nacho cheese. That was phenomenal. Put the shredded cheese over the nachos with the toppings under the broiler, then brought it out and drizzled it with the nacho cheese. And that was really good.
I did something similar last week where it was just a last second thing. We had extra chips, but we didn't have anything to dip them in. I was like, I'm just going to make a cheese sauce. We have a little bit of shredded cheese left. I'm just going to use that. And so I went to make my roux. And instead of doing any kind of measuring thing, I was like, I've done this a billion times. So I went to pour it in a whole bunch of flour up did. So I didn't have enough cheese to offset the flour, so my cheese sauce was a little bit grainy.
So let me tell you, the new cheese sauce, I got this from Brian Lagerstrom. He did a video a year or two ago on the Arby's roast beef and cheddar, and he came up with his own cheddar sauce.
Yeah.
Does not use a roux.
Oh, really?
And it uses evaporated milk, cheese, and cornstarch.
Okay.
So 3 ingredients is all you need. You don't have to make the roux for it.
Interesting.
And it's fantastic.
Good note.
It is.
Good note.
Yep.
Of course, you mentioned like high school games and stuff like that. Like you're getting, which is a classic nacho. Like it's not constructed. It's dippable.
Yep.
And you're taking those round corn chips and you're dipping it in the nacho cheese. Are you a pickled jalapeno guy?
I am.
I love it, man.
Look, one of the auto auctions where I work, they have nachos at their concession stand every week, and it's almost a ritual weekly that I have to have just that yellow fluorescent cheese.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Some pickled jalapenos and those round chips.
My wife's her office. A guy who works there has a nacho machine.
Yes.
And he'll fire it up every once in a while. And Laura, she told me just a few days ago, she goes, yeah, he left that on for us. It's still just going. And I was like, hold on. You can have nachos whenever you want and just walk in there and just drizzle some cheese over some chips. I'd never want to hear you complain about your work again.
I have seen a nacho cheese fountain that some people will do. Like at their wedding, they will have like a nacho bar with a nacho cheese fountain.
Those are my kind of people.
I would much rather have a nacho cheese fountain over a chocolate fountain.
I think I think I'm a savory guy over sweet. Yeah. That's a great idea.
This tells me that nachos originated in 1943 in Mexico by a guy named Ignacio Nacho Anaya.
Okay. In the movie Nacho Libre, I'm pretty sure his name is Ignacio. So that must be a great nod.
It is.
That's awesome. Which is a great movie. So, I haven't watched it in so long. Nacho.
That just makes me think of this.
Sometimes. Was it sometimes I like to dance or something like that?
It says it was originally just tortilla chips, melted cheese, and jalapenos. So that basic version that we know, supposedly, is the OG.
I mean, it's
nacho.
You could do it like you said it, like tortilla chips with cheese over it in the microwave. Works. Solid. No complaints.
I mean, I remember that being one of the first things that I would make as a snack as a kid. You know, like 8 years old, I could put shredded cheese on chips, microwave it for 30 seconds, and
it's delicious. It's great. And now you wait too long, it gets rubbery. But who's waiting that long to eat nachos? You mentioned you can do it fancy. Like you go to some of these places, a nicer Mexican restaurant or something like that. There may be individual chips that have all the stuff on top of it. Cantina Laredo, I think, has them that way, and Chili's at one point did their nachos that way.
Do they still?
I don't know. I haven't had them in a long time.
That's what I was going to say. Is that I feel like a lot of places in Texas.
Oh, really?
Do that
so maybe it's a more
Tex-Mex thing. That's what I'm wondering, where the nacho is built on just the single chip.
I mean, I'm not mad at that because you get the perfect bite every
single bite.
But there's so few of them.
That's the downside.
So it's a give and take. I don't know. I mean, I love nachos.
When you eat nachos, do you just eat them as they come, or do you try to build that bite each time?
So I have a system.
Okay, here's the nacho system.
I go for the ones that look like perfect bites first.
And then you're just left with chips.
And well, no.
Okay.
Because stuff falls off and it rearranges. So I go for the perfect bites first that are naturally there. Then I start scooping and building my best bite. Texture is a big deal. And I would never want a soggy chip.
Okay, that's what I was just going to ask.
Except for nachos. I like a chip that has a little sog on it.
So to me, what happens, I don't mind the crunchy ones.
Yeah.
But you get those others. It's almost as if you've ended up with a nacho casserole.
Yeah.
Like the tortilla becomes a little bit pliable, like a corn tortilla would.
Yeah.
In its natural state before it's been fried.
Yeah.
And I'm not upset at all.
Mad at it.
It becomes this melded thing together.
Like the crunchy, you're right. The crunchy is okay, but that's not a nacho for some reason.
To me, it feels like it's just been assembled.
Yeah.
But it's not fully complete.
Yeah. And if you give me that same chip soggy in any other way without the stuff, I'm going to be mad and I'm not eating it. Like because sometimes, you go to a restaurant and it was bad grease or it's too long, it didn't get crispy and it's just kind of flaccid. I don't want that. But it's like that cheese becomes one with it. It soaks into the chip and it just changes it. And it's so
okay.
good.
Let me ask you this question.
Okay.
Because this might be a bit controversial.
Okay.
For you.
I feel like I know where this is going in one of two directions.
Or
that's where I was going.
On the nachos.
I'm fine with refried. I don't want a lot of them because then it's going to make everything too soggy. But I'm not mad at refried on there. I'm not even mad at black beans.
Okay.
I'm coming back to earth with black beans.
It's only taken how many years?
It's taken
5.
10.
Wow.
We bought them all in 2015. So it's taken 10 years for me to come back to black beans. But we made something the other night and had black beans in it. So it was enchiladas that had black beans in it. So I'm coming around. They don't disgust me anymore. But I'm not opposed to beans.
When you're building nachos, should this be spread out into one even layer? Or are you building a layer, more chips on top? And how do you do it?
If I'm making them, it's a sheet pan, one single layer. Now,
okay.
Here's the other thing. Hot lettuce is not good.
Absolutely not.
Warm lettuce is not good.
Absolutely not.
Warm sour cream, okay. kind of, but I'm not putting it under the broiler.
No.
So when I'm building out mine, this is my process. This is what I do every time for us. The chips go on. If I'm feeling fancy, I'll warm up the chips, cook almost, like just kind of warm them up. Usually I don't, but if I'm feeling fancy, I will. But I will put, if I have a cheese sauce, I'll put that on, and then I'll put my meat. So it's usually ground beef on there, and then I'll shred cheese on top of it. That alone goes in under the broiler. Melt everything, get it all good. All the rest
of the toppings on after.
Then your tomatoes, your lettuce, your sour cream, your hot sauce, any of that stuff goes on afterwards.
Even beans?
We don't do beans a whole lot here, but I would probably do beans under the broiler.
Okay. Yeah. Let's see. There was another question I had for you on the building.
This is Aaron interviews Craig about nachos.
It's interesting because I feel like nachos.
What are you doing? Are you doing single layer? Or you doing a 7-layer big old?
We do it both ways.
Yeah.
Like a lot of time, we may take a cast iron skillet and nachos around the bottom, a layer of chips around the bottom, build our stuff, another layer of chips, and it may be, sort of like a lasagna, 2 or 3 layers deep. Or we'll spread it out on the sheet pan. I'm trying to. I feel like nachos in a layer are superior, though.
I agree.
Because of what we just talked about.
Yeah, with the single bites.
It feels like it becomes a more cohesive.
The ratio is way better.
Yes.
Because, ultimately, if you're going to do stacks of nachos, those ones at the bottom are going to get... They're going to get compounded. They're going to get crushed. Stuff's going to get, Plus, if you're trying to layer the flavors, it's not a perfect bite at any point, I've never been like 7-layer dips, big stuff like that. I've never been a fan of those.
Oh, what?
It's just because you're only getting bits of different things. I'd much rather have just 7 dips and kind of mix and match myself than be forced to just stick my hand all the way down there to get something.
See, I like a 7-layer dip.
Yeah. To each their own, I guess.
Now, when building nachos, I almost feel like this is a personal thing that each person should build.
Build their own nacho?
Yes.
Like, you don't want to make a communal tray of nachos? I guess that's true, because when we do nachos here, I'm making one for me, I'm making one for my wife, and so, yeah, it makes sense.
I like to build mine, and...
for us, usually the bases stay the same, but then, we each get our tray and build it after that however you want to. Yeah,
build it out.
I agree with that. Some people like more of one or the other, yeah.
I'm not big on sharing my nachos.
And I can crush a whole pan, just a cookie sheet pan full. I can crush them myself.
Look, when you read the back of the bag of chips, and you look at what a serving size of chips is, it's like 7 chips. Have you ever tried to build nachos out of an actual serving amount?
Yeah.
You have to have 4 times what the proper serving of chips would be.
Yeah.
You have to be a pig if you're going to eat chips.
Yeah, you really do.
This is not.
That's why chips will get you. And that's probably why those Doritos, the Subway nachos, were so wimpy, because they probably were like, we can't do too many servings of chips. People are going to give us crap about it.
Yeah. Because I will start out on the sheet pan. I'm like, okay, there's no way that's not a serving of nachos. That's like my toddler's serving size.
Exactly.
That's not my serving size of nachos. Who has ever? You go to a ballpark, if they were to serve you that,
oh my gosh, you'd want your money back, because you're paying $16 for that thing of nachos. Yes. You don't want to pay. You don't want it to be more dollars than there are chips. Now, okay, let's pause for a second and talk about ballpark nachos.
I am glad that you mentioned that,
because still to this day, and this may come into play later on, one of my favorite is barbecue nachos. And I first enjoyed those at the Arkansas Travelers baseball game many, many, many years ago.
That was the first place?
That was the first place
I think I ever had them. Maybe the first place that I ever had them as well.
Because I was in love with them. It had been such a foreign concept to me at that time as a young, 20-year-old, 19, something like that, maybe even younger than that. Just fell in love with the concept that you could put something different than just Mexican things onto a nacho. And I've had so many different iterations since. And you're looking at some really good looking nachos.
I'm trying to find the best ballpark nachos that I've had. I'm trying to find a good picture of these.
But you could go a billion different directions. You know, we have a limited little menu to choose from in just a minute when we do our bracket. But you could go a billion different directions, different combinations. And, I mean, you could go barbacoa. You could go shredded chicken. You could go Mexican or Tex-Mex. You could go, you remember the Carino's nachos? Johnny Carino's?
Yes.
Italian nachos were fantastic.
I've had some, I'm trying to remember where this was. We were at a Greek place and had some Greek nachos.
Oh, yeah.
That were just phenomenal.
So, I mean, they're adopted everywhere. I mean,
nachos are, people are always talking about fusion foods. Nachos are the perfect vehicle for fusion food.
100%.
Have you ever seen any Asian nachos?
I was just thinking, I don't know that I've seen, I think, I want to say I've seen some iterations of it, not full on Asian. But, you know, the Carino's nachos used wonton, fried wonton.
Yes, they did.
Because you talk about good crunch. Man, a fried wonton is incredible crunch. So you could go a bunch of different directions with it.
Here's something I have not seen on barbecue nachos. And this may, I probably not your style as much. But I'm just thinking through like the fresh options. I never see coleslaw as an option to put on your brisket nachos.
Right.
But I feel like if you're going to put lettuce or something on there, if you're going to have brisket nachos, coleslaw.
You think it's because it makes it too wet? That goes beyond just a little soggy to just wet.
It could be. But if you didn't go with a heavy Southern mayo base, if it was more of a vinegar, because that would help cut through some of the richness of your beef, of the cheese.
I think it'd be good.
Because here's one of the things. I love pickled red onion on my nachos.
It's so good. Especially on barbecue.
Absolutely. And it just cuts through that fattiness. So I think if you had a vinegary slaw.
I mean, or even if you're making your own slaw, you don't have to put as much mayo in it if you know it's going on nacho.
Just a little bit.
Lightly dressed.
And put that real tang in there that you might not want to just sit down and eat a bowl of that. But if it was as a accoutrement to accompany those nachos, I feel like that would be good.
We need to state, if it's not already obvious, if you're listening to this and it's an episode about nachos and you know who we are, it goes without saying, vegan or vegetarian nachos can just skedaddle. Okay,
Look,
vegan cheese is not good.
I've never tried them, and I don't intend to.
I mean, I guess vegetarian is Do vegetarians have dairy products?
Yes.
Okay. So
Vegans
maybe
don't.
vegetarian's okay then. I can do vegetarian nachos.
Like bean and cheese nachos,
Yeah,
that's
fine.
I could get down on.
Vegan, not so much.
No, I don't want vegan cheese.
Nut cheese.
And I don't want vegan protein.
Yeah, no.
At all.
None of that.
Now, these are the nachos that I had at the
You had that?
I had that.
That's a picture you took?
I did not take this picture, but that's exactly how mine looked, okay?
Oh.
Now, what we are looking at that you can't see is somebody mowed a lawn full of cilantro. And
you're also not going to find that in the bracket later.
Yeah, that's one thing we did not talk about in our list of toppings is cilantro. It tastes like soap, people. Cilantro tastes like soap. Outside of the cilantro, Hurtado Barbecue, they have a wonderful business in the Dallas area. Some of the best barbecue I've ever had.
Not a sponsor.
And would love for them to be a sponsor. But at the Rangers game, they have a stand and they have their brisket nachos there. I let Matt go and order these.
Okay.
And I didn't realize that all the cilantro in the world would be on one basket of nachos. So he came back. So I had to eat around it, and I did the best that I could. But the brisket, the jalapeno, their own cheese sauce that was with it, and the cotija over it, this might be the best ballpark nacho sans cilantro that I have ever had.
You know, I think I've said it on the pod before, but I'm going on my own little food journey this year where I'm committing myself to, like the black beans, and I'm going to commit myself to what's it called when you just have to
explore.
Well, it's like you just grow accustomed to it, or what's the word? I can't think of the word, but it's like acquire.
You're going to acquire.
I'm going to acquire the taste for like bananas and olives. Cilantro is one I can't do. That's just a biological thing.
Yeah, there is a physiological roadblocks.
That's just I can't get past that. So
I wish I could.
I do too, because my wife loves it. It's
the people who describe, they're like, that's not what cilantro tastes like. I'm like, I wish I could taste what you're tasting.
Yeah.
I can't though.
And because I hate being the jerk that says, please no cilantro. You know, I hate being that guy. I'm usually the guy who takes it as it is. Just give it to me. I want to experience how the chef made it. And it's hard to do with cilantro, and that's going to come up a lot because you got picos. A lot of pico has cilantro in it. A lot of salsas have a cilantro in it. Thankfully, when it gets to the salsa level, usually that kind of cooks out, or whatever.
If it's very mild in the background, but like the picture that I showed you, where there was just like they took an entire bunch of cilantro and just like, yep, that whole thing. That's what you get on there.
Okay, let's move into some ingredients now. Are we ready for that? We're gonna start with chips. There's a bunch of different ways. We're not hitting the button yet.
Oh, okay.
We might not even touch the button today because we're just going to draft later. But I mean, tortilla chips are the standard, right?
That is the original.
You have a favorite tortilla chip brand? I don't know that we've ever talked about that on the pod.
No, we have not talked about it, and I have been watching. This is how nerdy I am. I have watched several tortilla chip taste test videos in the last month. Is that something you don't ever think about?
No.
Is what do tortilla chips taste like?
Yeah.
They're just bland. They're just like
But there are different ones. I mean,
there are. And that's what they were pointing out. And as you review like 8 or 10 different brands at one time, then it really stands out the differences in them.
So
here's what I say for nachos. A Chili's style chip is so thin. You can't have that thin chip.
Doesn't work for nachos.
This one has to have some heft to it.
Our typical go-to tortilla is the on the border.
The cafe style on the border will stand up to having some weight.
They don't have a strong corn taste though to them.
They don't.
They're very light on that, which I don't mind for nachos, but there is something about the heavier corn taste that you do typically get with like a ballpark nacho or the high school gym, those big cheap brown bags. Those do have more of a corn chip taste to them. And I'm never mad at those either, but the on the border, a little bit more cafe style is usually the one I gravitate toward.
Occasionally, if we're really fancy, I might make my own. Just cut the corn tortillas up. I like the taste. The corn really comes through if you do that. But then you got to either fry, or we have spritzed them with oil and air fried them.
Yeah.
And had decent results out of them.
We did. Again, this was one of those nights where we're just looking in the cabinets in the fridge and going, what do we got? Let's try to do. We had the meal, but we didn't have any side to go with it. And I was like, we had some dip. I think we had some leftover dip of some kind. And I said, well, I'll make some chips. And I looked in. All I had was flour tortillas.
Okay.
Still worked, though. Those were great. Fried up flour tortillas are great.
I bet they did.
But yeah, I mean, you can also do the blue chips.
We're starting to get really fancy now.
Yeah, really fancy. We'll do that with corn dip a lot.
Yeah.
Which is fantastic. Blue or black.
Or you can do what Subway's doing, and you can go Doritos with them.
You can.
And we both said we've never done that at home.
We haven't, and I think I'm going to now. So, because it was great. I mean, I like that texture, that flavor in there.
There's a reason why Taco Bell has been successful with the Doritos Locos Taco.
That's true, yeah. Now, okay, do we want to talk about Taco Bell chips for just a second?
Let's talk about Taco Bell chips, yes.
For Taco Bell being as great as they are, their chips are subpar. They're not good tortilla chips.
I think a lot of them are not changing their oil out. I don't know what they're doing, but 50% or more of the time, I feel like I get incredibly bitter chips.
Why are they frying them fresh at the store? You'd think they just give them a bag and just say, use them. It's not like they're warm when you get them anyway. Just have store-bought chips. I think that's okay, Taco Bell. Fry them at a central location and ship them out to the customer, to the restaurants, because you're right. Greater than 50% of the time, it's just bitter.
Yeah.
And they're just not edible.
They're not.
Like you get 3 or 4 into it, you think I can press through with the nacho cheese, and it's just like I can't do it.
No. And then just for eating chips and salsa, I love Chili's chips. But then sometimes you'll get where they just like an entire wad of tortillas have been fried, and they're really and sometimes they can be really greasy on their chips. I don't know what happens if their oil is too cool when they drop
Maybe.
chips in or what, but like a perfect fried Chili's chip is great for salsa, would be terrible for nachos.
That's right, yeah. You can get chips that are too salty, like super salty chips kind of ruins the because everything you layer on top of it is also going to have salt on it. Your cheese is going to be salty, your meat's going to be salty, your salt, all that stuff on top of it's going to be salty. So you don't want an overly salty chip. I'm trying to think of where else does nachos. I mean, Chili's we've talked about, Subway. The black sheep of the family when it comes to nachos.
Didn't Domino's get into doing tachos?
I guess, yeah. I mean, there's plenty of places that have done loaded fries or tots. Sonic has done that. They did loaded tots for a while and loaded fries. Of course, you have Fritos is making our list. We'll talk about that later. But is it nachos or a Frito pie? I guess if it doesn't have chili, then it's still nachos.
I think so.
I mean, I'm not mad at it, but it's got to be the big ones. The little ones would just be annoying.
You can't pick those up. It would definitely be a fork or spoon situation.
Yeah. Have you ever done nachos with like Lay's?
I haven't.
I don't think I have either. I don't know that they would hold up. They may be like a chili
Too
situation.
A kettle cooked chip.
Oh, that sounds good. I mean, surface area not as big.
It's not.
You'd have to fork that one.
Yeah.
But it might be really good.
They would hold up to a nacho.
Yeah. I would be interested to try going back to Doritos with all the flavors, like a Cool Ranch. My favorite Dorito, the spicy nacho.
Spicy nacho.
That's the best Dorito, hands down.
Probably so.
We should do a Doritos taste.
They got a bunch of them.
So I mean, yeah, your corn chip is your standard, your corn tortilla rather.
Yes. Yeah. Have you ever had nachos where they've used the flour tortillas? I don't know if I've ever seen anybody do that.
Which I mean, I mentioned already, but the fried wontons also solid.
Now, do you ever go to a Mexican restaurant and order nachos?
I have, yeah.
Okay. That has kind of become my go-to order in the last 6 months is ordering nachos when we go.
If I go to one, I like to do that. I don't do it to go, and that's all I've pretty much done. At least here is to go from a Mexican establishment. It gets too soggy by the time it gets home. It's
soggier than you want it to sog?
It's crossed over to the just limp and not just that the ratio's off at that point.
Fair enough.
What about proteins? We want to talk proteins, or we want to go cheeses first? Cheeses, not Jesus. Sound like Jesus. I mean, nacho cheese is your standard. It's got a little heat to it. It's liquefied.
I hope it has heat to it. Sometimes you get some of those where it's just plain cheddar cheese sauce.
Yeah, that's not the same. That's not nacho cheese.
It needs to have that jalapeno spice to it.
There's something in there. Shredded cheese, works great if you're going to broil it or cook it.
Does shredded cheese should be melted on your nachos, right?
Otherwise, it's not nachos. Nacho cheese must have liquid cheese. It's got to have the sog.
It has to have a stretch factor.
Yeah. The cojita cheese or cotija, is that?
Cotija, yeah.
Cotija cheese.
Sort of the Mexican version of Parmesan or feta. It's very just crumbly, dry,
very crumbly,
salty. That's good to finish with. In fact, that's what's on the Hurtado brisket nachos. They finish with that. They have a cheese sauce underneath and then the cotija over the top.
It's always good. Queso, great option.
Or if you're in Arkansas, cheese dip.
Yeah, just cheese dip. Which, shout out Hot Springs, Arkansas. The creators of cheese dip.
Oh, we should have them on the podcast.
Hot Springs?
No, the creators.
Are they still alive?
Probably not.
I mean, it was Mexico Chiquito, right?
It was. I mean, that's what they claim. Sure. Somebody else also claims they did it.
Probably in Texas?
Well, I don't remember.
Okay.
I thought somebody else in Arkansas claimed that they invented the cheese dip.
Got you.
Yeah, Texas claims that queso was ours to begin with. I don't know what the beef is.
If you're ever in doubt, Texas will think anything came from Texas. So if it existed anywhere else, it really started in Texas.
It did.
I can't think of any other cheeses that you would do. Like you could put American slices on it. I mean, That's what we used to do, you know.
I have been there. I have done so. I don't like to do so.
Does Cheese Whiz melt?
No, I think it's in a perpetual state.
Or does it get hard? Does it harden up?
The molecular properties of cheese. I mean, you probably shouldn't ingest it. Okay,
No,
we don't know what's in it.
Probably should.
It could be used as mortar for bricks, I think.
That's true.
When's the last time you tasted Cheese Whiz?
It's been a long time. I think one time I was in a snacky mood and I was getting some snacks, maybe for a road trip or something, and I went through Walmart and I was like, Cheese Whiz. Hadn't had that in a long time. I looked up, I grabbed it, and then I was like, I looked at the price. The price was dumb. It was like a couple bucks, like multiple dollars for a little can of Cheese Whiz. Like, it's not worth the calories. We're going to put that right back.
How about spray cheese?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's not cheese.
It's not. That's definitely not cheese. You're not going to do cream cheese.
Now, hang on a second.
You think of dessert nachos?
I'm thinking dessert nachos.
I've never had dessert nachos.
You've never had dessert nachos?
I've never had.
Oh.
Well, how would that even work? What's the foundation here?
It's your chips, but you're going
Regular corn tortilla chips?
corn tortilla, but it works best if you're doing them fresh. As soon as they come out, hit them with cinnamon sugar.
Cinnamon, okay.
Boom.
All
like
right.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Okay. So papilla kind of?
Yes.
All right,
Your
I'm with
sopapilla
you.
vibe. And in place of your sour cream, like a sweetened, whipped up, lighter cream cheese
Okay.
on there.
And then just whatever toppings you want. Some strawberries.
I mean, you could do fruit
sauce.
with it. You could do a chocolate sauce. You could do dulce de leche, sort of a drizzly caramel over the top of it.
Man.
It could go all sorts of directions with that.
I feel a nacho night coming on. Very well rounded.
Nacho appetizers.
Yeah. Just nachos.
Just nachos.
No, they would be like your ballpark, like your
The chips, the cheese, and the jalapenos.
yeah, or the individuals with a little dollop of sour cream or
Okay.
guac or something like that on it, and then your main would be probably pulled pork, barbecue nachos,
Yeah.
and then for dessert
Or-
nachos.
Or we have like three. We have Greek nachos. We have Italian nachos. We have the pulled pork
A
nachos.
nacho tasting platter.
Just a nacho triple dipper.
whilst watching Nacho Libre.
Absolutely. And then finish it off with the dessert nachos.
Yeah, that's a great night. That's a great night. If you do that, tag us in it because we want to know. Proteins, steak, always a good choice.
Now, if you're going to do steak, how should the steak be done?
You're not doing a ribeye, right? Like you're not doing something like that. You're not taking a great piece of meat like that and succumbing it to nachos. You're gonna do a flank steak, right?
That's what I would think.
That's what I'm. Skirt
To
flank.
me, a ribeye would just be too fatty. I
Yeah.
mean, you don't want bites of that
Right.
in your nachos.
Yeah.
So a flank steak, a skirt steak, something you would make fajitas out of.
Exactly. Yeah.
That would
you're
go on
gonna
your
chop it up in a way that's bite sized. You don't want
Yes.
long strips.
Yeah, you don't want to fight with this as you're
Yeah.
trying to get a bite of
Yeah.
it. That's
So you want to be able to get a piece in each bite. Other beefs, you got just ground beef, white person taco meat.
just your regular old American taco meat.
Of course, you got barbacoa. You could do. You said brisket.
Look, we made some nachos a while back, a couple months ago. We had done a Mexican shredded beef. We cooked it in the oven like a pot roast, but I did it up with Mexican spices and then sort of had a birria style sauce that it was in. And
I've
then
never thought about doing like a
shredded that up over nachos. Let me tell you, we did the pickled onions.
Yeah.
We did thinly sliced radishes.
Oh man, that sounds good.
The cotija cheese on it.
Did you put the consomme over it, or did you dip? Like, what were you doing here?
Well, when we chopped up the beef, it had
So it
quite
was-
a bit of
okay,
that
that was
moisture in there with it, you know.
I'm thinking, have it on the side and just have
But that's what Erica did. She
Yeah.
had some over there, that she wanted to dunk it in extra. And by the way, I just saw a brand new video that came out yesterday from one of the food creators that I follow on YouTube doing birria tacos, and his sauce that he made looked like maybe the best that I've seen. And I'm like, I got to recreate this.
Was it Brian?
It was Brian.
Yeah, I saw that.
Did
video.
you see
It was
that?
pretty good.
I wanted some of those tacos. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, oh yeah, we having this soon.
Chicken, is pretty standard. You do a pulled chicken usually.
You can do shredded chicken.
You could chop it up, but pulled probably the best.
I like if you can go to the effort, if you can grill the chicken and get some of that char on it.
Yeah,
I like that on my nachos.
I got to get out there and clean and de-winterize our outdoor cooking space because I need to get back to some of
Speaking
that.
of that, hang on. I've got to check. Speaking of cooking, I have ribs on the smoker right now. I need to make sure that the smoker is still running, by the way, folks.
That's very important. Speaking of smoker, pulled pork is always, it might be goated. As far as I think you could call it non-traditional. Like it's not a traditional nacho by any means, but pulled pork is fantastic. Outside of that, you're talking, I've had shrimp nachos. I've had crab nachos. So, seafood can definitely make an appearance when it comes to nachos. You don't even need a protein. Of course, you got beans as well because that has protein in it.
Right.
So, really, any protein kind of works. I don't know that I've ever had straight up fish nachos.
Doesn't sound good.
No. Not like a crab does or a lobster. I've had lobster nachos. They're very good. Shrimp. But fish, for some reason, doesn't seem like it might work.
Let's see here. We live in the South. What's big down here is catfish.
Yeah.
If we wanted to make catfish nachos, could you chop up some fried catfish? How do you incorporate like the hush puppies?
I think you got to do. I think that one's got to have a little slaw in it.
I was going to say, you got to have the slaw.
You need some onion, maybe.
You would want the onion. A lot of places either serve baked beans or pinto beans with their fish meal. I think you could go pintos.
I think so. You could do baked beans, but you'd have to get a lot of that sauce out.
Okay. I'm just thinking, we ate at the Catfish Hole over in Alma a few months ago. Those pickled green tomatoes, I feel like a pickled green tomato, if you were going to do something like that, as kind of your tangy element.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about for chips.
No.
Yeah.
You put those pickled green tomatoes on there.
I think that'd be good.
I think that could work.
I think you could just use standard chips for something like that. But that would probably be pretty good. A little tartar.
See?
A little tartar sauce over it.
That would replace your sour cream.
Yeah.
I would try it.
I don't know that you can do cheese with that. And maybe that's why you don't hear about fish nachos, because fish and cheese.
Most people say it's a sin.
Yeah.
Unless you're McDonald's.
I don't think you could do cheese with that.
No, I don't think it would need the cheese.
But yeah, there's so much other moisture in there that I think it would be fine.
And then I'm thinking through, what about like shrimp cocktail nachos? Like some cocktail sauce, some shrimp.
Maybe.
With sort of like a fresh pico.
Maybe, yeah. It would definitely be a very light, bright.
Somebody
nacho.
out there has a nacho food truck. I feel like somebody's got to be doing this. Where there's multiple styles of nachos that you can get.
Surely there is. But then outside of your proteins, of course, after that, you've got your sauces and your vegetables that can just go for miles. Just like we talked about with that. Like you can pick and choose a billion different things. You've got lettuces and tomatoes and onions and picos. You've got did I say onions? But from that you got a ton of different onion options and different lettuce options and so on. You got guacamole, you got sour cream, you got barbecue, you got salsa, you've got ranch, you've got just the list goes on and on. He's holding a finger up for our audio listeners. That's why you're hearing silence, because Aaron is about to speak.
I had a thought. Going back to the dessert nachos.
He had a thought, everybody.
Something that I would typically say is inappropriate, but it could work with dessert nachos.
Okay.
A peach salsa.
Oh, okay.
So it's
because you're anti-fruit salsa.
I am anti-fruit salsa.
Yeah.
And I don't think it should. I don't know that should show up on nachos.
No, and yeah, fruit salsa doesn't need to go on nachos. But I mean,
Although-
if you're just dipping chips, there's nothing wrong with a mango or a pineapple
There is.
salsa or something like that. It's delicious.
It's like putting pineapple on pizza.
Okay.
It just
How did I?
shouldn't be
I had
done.
I had a gut feeling when you first started this. I was like, somehow, why do I feel like pineapple's about to make an entrance? And then it didn't. And of course it did. It came back around. We got to get a shirt about pineapple on pizza. We need to have that. So I don't know how we're going to do it, but it's going to be on there.
One thing you do see, you see pork and fruit served
You do,
together.
yeah.
So maybe you could do a peach or a mango
Maybe, yeah.
salsa chutney with your pork nachos.
I could see it working, yeah. Lauren loves cinnamon apple with her pork.
Okay.
So
Yeah, you see apples with pork quite a bit.
I can see how that would work.
I don't want apples with my pork.
No,
Okay?
I don't either. I always make it for her when we're cooking pork chops or something, but I'm never eating it. One protein we have not mentioned that just popped into my mind because we're talking pork is bacon.
Oh.
I'm not mad at bacon on nachos.
We didn't talk about breakfast nachos.
That's not has nothing to do with the episode, but yeah, I second that.
Breakfast nachos.
Breakfast nachos are fun. They're good.
There is sort of a style, like chilaquiles would be kind of your soggy tortillas with your cheese and your eggs. So it's sort of
Yeah.
already a thing.
Right.
That
But you if you were to Americanize it just a little bit with some
Just a little.
breakfast sausage and bacon and egg and cheese,
Absolutely.
sour cream still works, hot sauce still works.
and I think it's got to be fried egg. I don't think you should go scrambled egg. Because you want that yolk.
I think you want a soft scramble. I think that might be a happy medium. I mean, I can see all sides of that working. The only reason I might say scramble is just because for some reason the egg white's throwing me off.
Okay.
But I don't know. I'm not mad at it, but that's just not what my mind went to. I guess because I'm stuck in like a burrito territory, you know.
And I'm thinking like Cholula hot sauce on there.
Yeah, some grilled onions, sautéed,
Yes.
potatoes, which I guess you kind of have your chip, but like just some hash, you know.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at it at all.
Or you could replace the tortilla chips with like a waffle fry.
And it'll also be good.
That could be sort of hash brownie.
See, okay, but is that nachos?
It is. It is nachos.
Is because that's just loaded fries at that point. What's the difference
It
between
is-
a loaded fry and nacho?
There is no difference.
So okay, hold on, time out. Hold on.
Hang on.
You have stances on what is a pizza and what's not a pizza. What is a salsa and what's not a salsa. But when it comes to nachos, you will say loaded nacho or loaded fries and nachos are the same thing.
Well, they're not. They're not the same. A loaded fry is what we talked about on a recent episode of some sort. That would be bacon, cheese, sour cream. That's a loaded fry.
okay.
That is not a nacho.
Okay.
Have you not seen at the Mexican restaurants around here, they have waffle fry fajitas?
Yeah, and it's a little weird.
What? Have you had them? They're delicious.
But they're not nachos.
They are. It picks up just like a chip. Or you can go in with a fork situation.
Okay. You're such an enigma to me sometimes. I don't get the difference between. But
You
okay.
put nacho toppings on it versus loaded fry toppings.
Then what? Why the beef about pizzas being and burgers and
Because
sauces?
we're talking about something that's just made up here. Pizza is a thing.
Nachos
There is
are a thing.
There
Loaded
is a
fries are
there
a
is a
thing.
pizza council that says what it is.
There's a
I don't-
nacho council.
I don't set the rules. I don't make the rules. I just follow them.
Okay. Anything else before we start drafting here? I feel like my mic stand is extra squeaky today. So
It is.
I need to get some WD-40 on it or something. Are we ready to start drafting here?
Let's draft it out.
If you want to be the best, you have to beat the rest. This is the Best Things Bracket.
Okay, I just realized I don't know how to decide who gets first pick. I guess, do we need to rock, paper, scissors this thing? Do we need to pick a number? Oh, okay, we're going to flip a coin. All right.
We'll flip a coin. Heads or tails?
Heads never fails. I can't see it, so you're going to have to let me know.
Heads.
Okay. First pick to me. And I'm taking pulled pork, baby. We didn't say what kind of order we had to go in.
Tell me again what we're doing here. We're just picking a style of
we're building our two ultimate nachos each.
How do you start with a protein over a chip?
Because I wanted to make sure to get that so you didn't. You're up. What do you want?
I want tortilla chips.
Okay. Oh. I guess you want to add your own, or you want me to add your own?
I've got them.
Okay. So you got tortilla chips then. For my next pick, I am going to take... I'm going to go Doritos. I don't know which nacho I want to put them on yet, but...
And I will take queso.
Okay. I'm going to take... I'm going to take shredded cheese. Yes. No. I'm going to take nacho. Nacho cheese.
Nacho cheese. And let's see. I think for my protein, I'm going to go with brisket.
Okay. Beef off the board. I'm going to go steak.
Steak and pork?
We're creating two different nachos.
Oh, okay.
So, yes. You're up.
I will take waffle fries.
Okay. Type of potato has been taken off the board, which means I'm going to take Fritos. 3 left on our board, and then we get to pick any sauces and stuff like that we want. You can take them at any point. You don't have to wait, but just know if you wait, one of these may get an extra one may get taken off.
What?
Like, this is all we have toppings and sauces.
Oh, okay.
We're still abiding by that. If you take it, the other person can't have it.
Okay.
But
well, then
if you were to take that and not something here, then you may miss out on something here.
I see. Can I choose a protein that's not listed there?
Sure. It can't be beef, though, because beef is already off the board.
Oh, okay. Well, that's why I said brisket.
Yeah. That's a specific beef.
Okay. Well, then I'll take chicken. That's what's there.
I'm going to take... I'm going to take shredded cheese. Leaves you with cotija.
Yep.
And then any toppings that we want but we can't replicate, I'm going to take barbecue sauce before it gets taken away from me for some reason. No, I don't think you'll take it, but we can have as many of these as we want, but we can't have the same thing.
And I'll have sour cream.
I was worried you were going to do that. I'm going to take guacamole.
I will take salsa.
I'm going to take jalapenos. While it's bolded.
Let's see.
Just going to let the record show while you're thinking. I would want to, on my steak nacho, to put like just a raw onion. Just a little bit of raw white onion, but I'm not doing that because you hate that.
I do hate that. I'm going to take pickled onion.
Okay. That's a good call. I was hoping you wouldn't do that one. And then I think that one's done. And I think... Am I good? I feel like I need something else. I need a... I'm going to take like a Chipotle ranch.
Chipotle ranch.
Or a Chipotle cheese sauce. Something like that.
Just a Chipotle sauce.
Yeah. But not like straight up Cholula or anything. Just a Chipotle.
And look, I'm going to swap my cotija cheese for feta cheese.
Okay.
Okay? You okay with that?
You're going for the funkier flavor.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I'm going to do.
I'm not mad at it.
Are you taking something else?
I feel like I need something else, but I can't think of what it would be. So I think that one's good. I think I'm good.
Okay. Then I've got tortilla chips, queso, brisket, sour cream, salsa, and pickled red onion for those nachos. My second set, I've got waffle fries, chicken. I'm going to go with a nice grilled chicken.
Okay.
Feta cheese. I'm going to take banana peppers.
Ooh, that's a good call.
And I'm going to take Kalamata olives.
Oh no! Really? You want to do it?
I'm going to do it. Look, I'm going all in. Let's see. I want to take... What else?
I kind of like this format. I'm not gonna lie.
What else is that? Oh, I know. That needs some tzatziki sauce.
Ooh, I do like tzatziki
Over
sauce.
that.
Yeah.
I am not going to even attempt to spell that at the moment. It's a TZ
Yeah.
Ziki. However you spell that. Never going to remember that. Let's see. Chicken, feta cheese, banana peppers, Kalamata olives, tzatziki sauce. Obviously, I'm going in a Greek direction with
Yeah,
this.
I can tell.
What else would be appropriate on that? I'm trying to think. Is there anything?
I mean, you could do some kind of a rice, but like that's the only other thing I can think of that would be, or lamb. If you wanted another protein,
I
gyro meat.
look. That's what I was just thinking of. Maybe I swap the chicken for gyro meat.
Yeah, you could do that.
That's what I'm going to do.
Okay.
I want to talk to Greek House and Cersei and see if we can get this on the menu. Let's see. Do we need any Greek herbs? What would be?
I'm going to. You know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna add coleslaw with my pulled pork.
To your pulled pork nachos.
Yeah.
Neither of us have taken beans. There's
Oh, that's
no
a good
beans
point.
on any nachos.
That's a good point. I could.
I don't want to put beans on my Greek nachos. I don't necessarily want them on the brisket one. Where would beans?
Yeah.
On your steak nachos?
They would, and I'm thinking like a drunken bean, but that might be too wet.
That could be too wet.
I don't know. I'm not to the point with my relationship with black beans
You're
to
not
add them
ready
yet.
to add black.
And I don't think refried would give
Okay, what about pintos?
maybe? I'm not putting beans.
There's nobody has taken pico.
I'm gonna take lettuce, shredded lettuce. I think that this one needs some lightening up, I think. And you've got my pickled onion.
And I'm kind of thinking, I'm almost thinking spinach over here.
That'd be
On this
pretty
Greek
good.
one.
Yeah,
Some kind of spinach.
that'd probably be pretty good.
So
I'm
I
not mad at
just
it.
don't know if I want to take that or not. I'm happy with where that is. Nobody took tomato.
Oh, I could do that too.
You don't want tomato on that first one.
No, I'm gonna take some diced tomato on my steak one.
On your steak nacho.
Yeah, that definitely helps brighten it up a little bit.
And I'm going to change my sour cream to being a lime crema.
I was just about to say, I wonder if I could sneak crema. But I guess that's really the same thing, right? Just
Lime and sour cream mixed together. Yeah, whatever.
I was trying to figure out a way I could get something like that on one of these, and I can't think of anything else unless I wanted cottage cheese or you could do a Greek yogurt. I mean, dollop of Greek yogurt. I mean, that's in the tzatziki sauce.
Yeah, I've got the tzatziki sauce on there.
I think I'm going to call. I think I'm done.
Cheese, jalapenos. You've already got jalapenos, right?
I've got jalapeno.
Were those fresh or pickled?
Doesn't matter.
It does matter.
These are going to be pickled for mine, but you can't take fresh jalapeno.
That's a completely different thing. They're not even the same.
Then I'm taking sour cream. This is where you do you want to play it?
I don't really enjoy just fresh jalapeno on my nachos. If I'm going to have jalapeno, I'd want pickled jalapeno.
Yeah.
So unless you want to swap,
no.
like I will trade you sour cream for pickled jalapenos, and then you can have fresh jalapenos if you want to swap.
We want to
Like at the lunch
go
table.
down this road.
And
Okay.
that would be what I propose.
No, because then you're not going to want my fresh jalapeno. You're not going to vote for it.
I don't hate it. It's just I prefer pickled jalapeno, and I wouldn't put the fresh on.
No, we're going to stay true to the game. We're going to stay true.
Let's see. Avocado. Nobody took avocado.
Oh, you know what I could do, though? I'm going to add ranch dressing.
You've already got. Oh, you're going to add. Wait. What?
A little drizzle of ranch dressing. Well,
What? Hang on. Rethink that.
Yeah, I'm rethinking that.
Rethink that. On your you don't want ranch dressing on your barbecue nachos.
I was thinking it might be a good substitute. I was trying to think I was stuck in substitutes for sour cream, and I'm like, that could work, but I don't think that would work very well.
And you want Greek yogurt? You can have Greek yogurt.
I don't want Greek yogurt.
Did you take?
Yeah, I don't want.
Did you take onions?
No,
Oh, I took pickled onions. Yeah, that's what it was.
I'm good. I'm gonna call. I'm not gonna overthink it. I'm done.
What about roasted corn?
That would be good. I don't want it.
Okay.
That would be good.
Because I'm thinking either with brisket or with the pulled pork, some roasted corn could be a.
It could. It could absolutely be. Ooh. I'm just revisiting. I had asked ChatGPT before we got started what are the best nacho ingredients, and I really didn't read the list until just now, and it mentioned chorizo.
Yeah, I thought of chorizo.
That would be good.
Here's controversial picks: ketchup,
Who's doing that?
ranch, pineapple, nacho cheese only, and cold toppings.
Why nacho cheese and cold toppings are controversial?
That's what it says.
I don't think that's controversial at all.
Are you satisfied with your?
I think so. I think I'm happy with it. Yeah, I'm happy.
Okay,
I'm gonna call.
I'm gonna call mine then.
So we have no order, so we get to each just pick what we want to go up against the other. Since I got first pick, I'm gonna let you put your first nacho dish up and remind the people what it all is, and then I'll put one of mine up against it, and we'll 3, 2, 1 from there.
Okay.
And let's go which one we think is just the best one, which ones we would want to eat more.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean that we're gonna eventually have them ranked 1 through 4 here.
Yeah.
And what we would choose. Okay. I'm gonna start with my waffle fry nachos.
Okay.
My waffle fry Greek nachos
Consist of
gyro meat, banana peppers, feta cheese, tzatziki sauce, and Kalamata olives.
Okay. I'm going to put my pulled pork nachos up against that,
Okay.
which is a layer of Fritos with pulled pork, shredded cheese, barbecue
second.
sauce, jalapenos, and coleslaw.
Fritos.
Yes. It's what I was left with.
That's what you were left with. That is true.
Those two up against each other. Which one would you rather have? 3, 2, 1. Pulled pork. I'm not mad at that though at all. I've never had something like that,
Yeah,
so
I
I'm
haven't
interested
either.
in trying it. I think it would be
I
very
would too.
interesting.
I would too.
So that means I'm putting up my spicy nacho steak nachos that have spicy nacho Doritos. I didn't specify that earlier when I said Doritos, but that's the kind I'm going with nacho cheese, steak, guac, chipotle sauce, shredded lettuce, and diced tomato.
So we're doubling up on the spice.
Yeah.
Chipotle and spicy nacho.
I wish I had sour cream to go with that. It'd be awesome. I'm wishing I had that instead of guac, but beggars can't be choosers.
I mean, you could always add lime
Could.
if you wanted to squeeze some fresh lime over it for a little
It's true.
tang.
And some people would say this would be great with cilantro. I don't care.
Cilantro was not on our topping
It's
list.
not on the list.
Okay? You can forget it, people.
That's going up against, I don't remember what your second one was. You spent so much time with the Greek one, I forgot what the first one was.
So I've got brisket nachos with just good old tortilla chips. All right? The way that God intended nachos to be made. With a queso over the top. Of course, brisket.
Yes.
I'm thinking shredded brisket here.
Smart.
And some pickled red onion. Cut through that richness. Add a nice salsa for a little freshness,
Okay.
a little spice, and then finish that off with a nice drizzle of that tangy lime crema.
Sounds pretty good. This is a harder one for me. We both have our biases, I think, a little bit. But we have to make a call. In 3, 2, 1, brisket. That's a great combination. So that means we have our pulled pork nachos versus brisket
So
nachos.
brisket and pulled pork, those are our top two.
So when it comes to the bottom two, what do we want to say? Do we want to just agree, or do we want to 3, 2, 1 it? Which one's third place?
Yeah, 3, 2, 1 it.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Third place is 3, 2, 1
Greek.
steak. Having never had anything like that,
I know,
I'm
that's-
worried that it's not going to be good. I'm going to put it last because of the olives. I'm not going to enjoy the olives yet. Maybe I'll get there by December, but I'm not there in April.
Yeah. I get it.
So we're going to go 1 to 10.
No, I'm fine giving the edge to the spicy nacho Dorito steak nachos.
Okay. So fourth place, we have our Greek nachos. Third place, we have spicy nacho steak. I keep wanting to say tacos. And then for first and second, we have a decision to make. Brisket or pork, to remind the audience, who have probably already checked out by now.
Not listening.
My nachos is Fritos with pulled pork on top with shredded cheese, barbecue sauce, jalapeno, and coleslaw. Yours, tortilla chips.
Queso, brisket, pickled red onion, salsa, and lime crema.
Yeah. Both really good. I devour both of these. 3, and I think we would both of these could be swapped ingredients and be happy. I think there's a couple of ingredients we'd both swap over if we could and combine, but we can't. 3, 2, 1, brisket. Yeah. I'm going brisket.
To me, the tortilla chips are just a slight edge.
Gives it the
for
edge.
nacho.
Yeah.
Tortilla chips and brisket and queso is just a hard combination
It
to
really
beat. But
is.
I mean, it's close. Like if it was tortilla chips,
If it was
pulled
tortilla
pork,
over here, I think I'd give the edge. But
yeah, possibly.
and I don't know that the reason I could have put nacho Doritos or Doritos over there. I think it would have been too. I would think they would have fought too much flavor wise.
Yeah, that doesn't feel.
You
right.
might have been able to do some other kind of flavor, but I'm trying to think of what flavor would have worked, and I just can't come up with what it would have been.
I think though
Cool
those are
Ranch would
the
work, but
those are the top two nachos.
yeah, hands down. And again, if we could have combined and put tortilla chips over here and sour cream,
Yeah,
I mean that's a perfect nacho.
yeah. And I would add if I could add
Barbecue
anything,
sauce.
well, I would. Yeah, some barbecue sauce wouldn't be bad.
Yeah,
and pickled jalapenos.
Yeah, so I mean, two things swapped on either side, and they're both perfect nachos. So that's our opinion. What is yours? Let us know in the
I feel like we need
comments.
to get together and have these 4 nachos
Dude, we really did.
laid out. That's what we need to do.
We need to have a nacho
We designed
night.
it. We need to talk to the barbecue place in town.
Yeah.
We need to talk to the Greek place in town. We need to have best thing nachos on the menus at local places.
Yeah, Craig and Aaron's nachos.
That's right.
All right, we have another decision to make, so let's make it now.
It may be the best thing today, but is it the best thing of all time? It's time for the best thing battle.
Okie dokie. We have I believe, 2-time reigning champion. I'm going to double check that because it feels like it should be 3. But I'm going to double check. While I'm doing that.
March Madness. It's all over with now.
This is a 3-time. We forgot to.
Okay.
I knew I was forgetting. So this is a 3-time champion.
How sad are you that March Madness is over?
A little sad.
You happy that Florida won?
Little not. I'm not really. Somebody said, who do you want to win? I said, I want Houston to win. And they said, well, but you're a fan of an SEC team. Don't you want the SEC to win? I'm like, no. Like, this is a team I don't want to win all year. Why would I want them to win now?
I was accused of being, and I did kind of stir the pot with some friends that are anti-SEC after they won and sent them the SEC chant. And they're like, see, you just always bandwagon. I'm like, look, I cheered against every SEC team in the entire. I wanted to be the last SEC team standing. I do not hate you all year and then suddenly want to cheer for you.
Exactly.
I don't want you to use that against me in recruiting.
Yeah.
I don't want Florida to have that much more of an advantage to say, well, we have this many national championships.
Yeah.
You only got. No, I don't want you to win.
Right.
I want you to suck.
Exactly. I'm okay if we're the only team in the tournament. I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Anyway. So we have March Madness versus this nacho creation of yours. Which one would we rather have? What's the better thing? 3, 2, 1.
March Madness.
That is correct. That's week 4. One more week of winning, and it enters the Hall of Fame. Gets its own T-shirt that can never be taken away from it. Unless we do a Best Things Hall of Fame bestie tournament and knock something out when we get to 9.
And at that point, do we remove that shirt from our store?
I think you have to, right?
So they are all then just limited editions.
Yeah, they're just limited.
At some point, that run is over with.
Yeah.
We do not have that design anymore.
If you want a Washington, D.C. shirt, you better get it soon. Because
you think that's the one that's getting voted out?
I think that's the one that's
going
out. I don't see anything else that I would rather not have.
But America.
I don't care. I could move to Canada and still enjoy a pepperoni pizza or brisket.
Look, I almost voted for these nachos over March Madness, but since brisket is already on the board,
That's a good point.
I can make my brisket
And
nachos.
I almost thought, do we want to just do nachos instead of that specific nacho? But that was the episode. So
if it were nachos, would you vote for nachos over March Madness?
I think I would.
Would you really?
I think I don't know. I'm torn because I didn't enjoy March Madness as much this year as I have in years past. I don't know if it's just because I was more busy, so I didn't get to watch a lot of games. Usually that first weekend, man, I'm locked in all days. I'm sitting in front of the TV.
You didn't have a ton of upsets this year.
And yeah, you didn't have a ton of upsets. You had one buzzer beater, maybe. Well, I guess
couple.
2. But there wasn't a bunch of upsets. It was pretty much chalk, except for Arkansas. I mean, so that was fun. But yeah, I didn't get into it as much as I usually do. So it lost a little bit of a luster. I haven't even got to see one shining moment yet.
It was so late that when it was over, I just turned it off and went to bed.
So I haven't seen it yet.
Because we were, no, we were back. I had to watch the Final Four in the Eastern time zone, and let me tell you, the Eastern time zone sucks. It is the worst for sports watching because it was after midnight when it was over there.
Oh my goodness!
I wouldn't want to stay up.
Yeah.
Our game that we played, the last game, we were on the West Coast, so it was 9 p.m. here. It was 10 p.m. Eastern time, where we just came from. I would have had to stay up until 1 a.m. to watch our game.
Oof.
Not going to do it.
Rough. Okay, that's all we got. You got anything?
Oh, I don't guess so. Other than they ought to go get some of this merch.
Go get the merch. Go hop bestthingspod.com. Maybe we'll create another little short URL for the bestthingsmerch.com. That works too. But hop on the website, get it. Get as much as you can.
Have a nacho night.
We're not making a huge profit on this. We tried to keep the prices very low, but it just helps get the word out there. Somebody's going to see your shirt, go, that's a cool shirt. Where'd you get that? You say, well,
let me tell you.
Let me tell you about these guys. Thanks for all the feedback and for listening and watching and interacting. It's appreciated. For the best thing. I don't know what else to say. I am Craig.
I'm Aaron.
We'll talk at you next time. Bye-bye, everybody. Hey, thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you can see more videos from us. Craig, Aaron, what are you still doing? Go click the video.